In this video, I'm going to talk about my Tillandsias, or air plants, and how I take care of them, or better said, how I don't really take care of them, how I separate the pups from the mother plant, and how I prepared a mounting base to display the new little air plant. And you'll also see some of my neighbors' air plant displays, which are far bigger than mine, and watering tips. So I just discovered air plants myself just a few years ago, and if you don't know anything about them, by the name you probably know that they just survive on air. These plants are actually not even rooted in anything. I just put them in the rock wall. They have a kind of a root-like thing, but it's often just to anchor itself down to a tree or rocks or whatever it attaches itself to. And the great thing about these plants, they're not parasitic, so they're not living off a tree. They're not going to kill your tree. They're just hanging out with it. It's around Christmas time right now, and I'm going to make a little Christmas gift for someone special with some tools, and I'll show you how I created it. First, I'll be using a piece of porous rock from the south of the island. You can only get it down there, and there happened to be a block here. So I grabbed a little piece, and I'm going to break it up and use it as a base. This is an igneous rock formed through the cooling and solidification of magma or lava here on the island from our big volcano El Teide. And it has a long history. It was used far before European contact for construction. So there's lots of talk about how often you need to water your air plants. I guess it depends on the species. There's over like 540 different species of these type of plant. But I think obvious signs that they needed some more water are dry, dead leaves like this, as opposed to greener and more vibrant. And you can see that they grow pups, or hijos in Spanish, and you can separate these and create your own little new offshoot. Just so you can see, these are just stuck in. There's that root-like thing I was talking about, but it anchors onto trees and rocks. They're all just sitting there. Okay, this is my very first time, never done this before. I'm just gonna pull this off and hope for the best. Go with my instinct. Well, let's find where it's attached anyway. I guess I could cut it off. Oh, it's coming off. Okay, I finally found some aluminum wire at an arts and crafts shop, or manualidades. Surprisingly not easy to find into a bunch of different shops. Aluminum is much better than copper. I heard copper can actually damage the plant. So the leaves of Tillandsias are covered with specialized cells called trichomes, which are capable of absorbing water that touches them. And their seeds are very light and have a silky parachute for easy transport, very similar to that of the dandelion. That's how they get around for seed dispersal. Depending on the species, it can take months or even years for it to flower, so be patient. And they also get their nutrients through rain, dew, and dust, decaying leaves, and insect matter. Really quite an incredible plant. We can try different sizes too. This might be a little too big. Or play with this more, of course. A little smaller. Give it a try. There you go. Pretty this up a little. Maybe something like this. Play with it. Have some fun. It is watering time, so I'm just going to grab the plants that I have here and get them together, and I'm going to soak them, put them in a bucket and fill it with water as I'm doing here, and I'm just going to let these soak for about 20 minutes today, but some people say you can do it up to a couple hours or even overnight. 20 minutes later. Be sure to shake the excess water off, and let's put them back in their little home. And here's a peek at our local plant nursery. They've got them just growing on the side. They don't even sell them there. Just hanging out, looking good. Probably good to use a trim later. There's a wind blowing. You can tell just by looking at them that they really appreciated that soak. A lot greener. I've been keeping them alive for the past couple of years, just watering them every once in a while with this. Little mister. This is all they've been surviving on for the last 2 years. Once in a while, maybe once a month. They're not in full sun here, mind you. They get sun here for about the first 6 hours of the day. And then it goes behind the wall for a well-needed break. You can also clean them up a little, get rid of the dead branches. Try and cut them on an angle, so if you do see it, it looks a little more natural. You can tell when they need water when the leaves start curling up on the edges like that, kind of forming a U shape. See that? Right here, this ridge here. Make sure your shears or whatever you're using are good and sharp. Here's some footage of the same little pup that I separated and mounted 2 months later. Still alive and looking good. Tillandsias are native to mountains and deserts of the neotropics, from northern Mexico and southeastern United States to Mesoamerica and the Caribbean to central Argentina. But as you can see here, they do quite well in the subtropics of the Canary Islands. This is a neighbor's fence up the road, and look at this. It's incredible. This is what I want my Tillandsias to be when they grow up. If you're just starting your journey into airplant world in Tillandsias, have a lot of fun. They're fantastic plants, and if you are a seasoned veteran in airplants, please leave some tips for me, and any extra information is always welcomed in the comments. So thanks for watching, and I hope everything goes well with your garden journey. Garden on.